Hello students, welcome to online classes. I am Aparajita. I will teach you chemistry. I hope you all are fine. So please stay at your home and stay safe. I am here to take chapter number 2 of subject chemistry. So your chapter number 2 is physical change and chemical change. Now, just before going to these types of changes, we have to go through the introduction of changes. What do you mean by change? Just converting of one phase to another phase or one thing into another thing is called as changes. Okay? And some changes is temporary in nature, some changes in permanent in nature. Such as, just if you see your surrounding, you will see tree grows from a sapling of a plant to a tree. Now small baby grows to a big man, means a man. Then you just see changing of a season, then changing of a weather, then morning to evening. Then you may see changing in the different colors of leaves. Then changing of a state of a matter, solid changes to liquid, liquid changes to gas. Then you can see changing of height. So these are different examples which we can classify into temporary change and permanent changes. Like this, we are having various types of changes which can be classified, such as in your book, the first type of change is given as desirable change and undesirable change. Desirable and undesirable change. In your book, first type of change which we have to study is desirable change and undesirable change. So it is given here, change that are useful to human beings is said to be desirable change. For example, ripening of fruits, cooking of food, occurrence of photosynthesis in green plants, pasteurization of milk, formation of curd from milk, change of season, these all are desirable change. Now, this desirable change means which is useful for human beings, which is useful for human beings. Such as it is given ripening of fruits. Ripening of fruits means whenever fruit ripe. Raw mango you having, if get raw mango ripe to the ripe mango, when we eat it gives us taste. Plus it is useful for human beings. Next example is given cooking of food. See, raw food we cannot easily intake. Therefore we used to cook the food and then we intake. That is also useful for human beings. Next is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means the preparation of food of a plant. Means plants prepare their food with the help of process of photosynthesis. Now when the plant prepare food by the process of photosynthesis, that food helps us. That is also useful for human beings. Next is formation of curd. See, we make curd from the milk and that curd is helpful for us. It is useful for human beings. That's why we say formation of curd from a milk is useful for human beings. Next is change of season. Whenever season changes. See, this time summer season is there. Just after a few months you will see rainy season is there. Then after a few months you will see there will be winter season. So changing of seasons are also useful for human beings. Therefore they all are called as desirable change. Next is undesirable change. So what is undesirable change? Change that is harmful to human beings or causes destruction is called as undesirable changes. They all are harmful to human beings, harmful for human beings or harmful to human beings, destruction. They are harmful, means they can cause harm for us as well as they lead to some of the destruction. For example, what cyclonic storm, whenever there is a storm in the sea, that is also just a destruction case. Next is the spoilage of food. When we leave food like that only in the open area or in the room just without keeping in fridge and just covering it, it may spoil after some hours. So that's why that is also harmful for human beings. Then rotting of fruits, it's also harmful. Curdling of milk. Now you see one example is here. Here is formation of curd. Formation of curd. And here is example, curdling of milk. See these two examples. Formation of curd means just to make a curd, we used to put smaller quantity of curd in a milk and therefore curd is prepared. So that we are using by knowingly and that is useful for us. But curdling of milk means we just keep milk in the room or wherever the temperature is more without boiling it or with boiling it undisturbed. When we keep it after some hours, especially 5 to 6 hours, what happened? The milk get spoiled. See, get it right on page number 10 it is given. The formation of curd and curdling is milk are not same. They both are not same. The formation of curd is desirable change and curdling of milk means spoiling of milk, which means in the case of curdling of milk, the solid part of milk is being separated and hence the liquid part and solid part of a milk gets separated. That is why and we can't use it properly. Therefore, it is harmful for us and it is called as undesirable change because without of our use it just form and here we used to form it and further it is useful for us. Now, next example is given rusting of iron. See, rusting of iron, when iron is left undisturbed, where there is moist oxygen, means oxygen is there plus little amount of water vapors are also there iron get rust. Okay. Then erosion of soil. Soil erosion can also be having different factors and the erosion of soil is also not helpful for us because the upper layer of the soil which is fertile of fertility, which shows the fertility of a soil, that also eradicated from one part to another. That is why this is also not useful for us. Then overutilization of groundwater. See, when we overutilize the groundwater at a time or especially in summers, the level of water, the water table, the level of water goes down, which results we can't get water to appropriate amount. Therefore, these all are undesirable change. Now let us see one thing is given. Certain changes are desirable and undesirable at the same time. Few examples I told you with respect to desirable change and few examples I told you with respect to undesirable change. But some of the examples are such like that at the same time that is desirable also as well as undesirable also. Such as burning of fuel. Why burning of fuel is undesirable as well as desirable? See, it is desirable because it gives us heat and on the case or on the burning of fuel or by the burning of fuel we can cook food. So this is undesirable, this is desirable change. But at the same time, large amount of smoke comes out which pollute the air. That is why it called as undesirable change. So, one example is burning of fuel. Burning of fuel. This burning of fuel can be desirable also as well as undesirable also. It is desirable because it gives us heat and with the help of heat we cook food. That is why it is desirable change. Now whenever the burning of fuel takes place, there is evolution of large amount of smoke and that smoke creates air pollution. That is why it is called as undesirable change. One more example is given, rain. Rain is desirable change but excessive rain causes flood. See, rain is desirable change. Why? Because rain gives us water and the water is very important for the irrigation purpose. Okay, but if the level of water or if the level of rain or the amount of rain exceeds its own limit, if it is in excess in quantity, that creates flood. Therefore, rain is also considered as undesirable as well as desirable change. So, this is about desirable and undesirable change. What are the things you have to learn here? Definition of desirable change and undesirable change. Then, few examples of desirable change and undesirable change, as well as some examples which is having both desirable and undesirable condition and why they are so. I hope this topic is clear to you. Let us go to the next topic. So children, our next topic is reversible and irreversible change. Reversible and irreversible change. Now first we will see what is reversible change. A change that can be reversed, turned into its original form by reversing the condition is called as reversible change. It means the change which can be reversed. Which can be reversed. Change which can be reversed is called as reversible change. Now few examples are there. What are the examples? See, melting of ice. Melting of ice is the best example. Melting of ice means this ice when melts turns to water. Now again when we just freeze this water, it turns to ice, means the process can be reversed. Ice when kept at the room temperature turns to water, and when water freezes turns to ice. It means this process can be easily reversed. Next is evaporation of water. Evaporation of water, see, when the temperature rises, whatever the water available on the surface of earth in a form of pond, river, lake, that all water vaporizes, it gets evaporated and collected in the form of cloud. Again when there is rain, water comes down. It means the process is reversed. Then glowing of electric bulb. When we switch on, the bulb glows, and when we switch off, the bulb goes off. Therefore, it is reversible change. Then stretching of rubber band. When we stretch a rubber band, it just gets elongated. Again when we release it, the condition, it comes back. It means that is also a reversible change. Then dissolving of sugar in a water. That is also reversible change. Dissolving of salt in the water, that is also reversible change. Coming to irreversible change. A change that cannot be reversed is called as irreversible change. Change that cannot be reversed. Change that cannot be reversed is called as reversible change. For example, see, first example is given burning of paper. Whenever we burn a paper or whenever we burn wood, when we burn it, what happened? Again we cannot get paper back. That paper turns to ash as well as the smoke comes out. So burning of paper cannot be reversed. Therefore, it is called as irreversible change. Next is aging of living beings. Whenever there is a growth in age or whenever we get older, what happen again? We cannot get back to our age. Means suppose if I am 30 year or 40 year, again I cannot go back to the 10-year age. So aging of a living beings is also a irreversible change. Cooking of a food. When we cook rice, again we cannot get back the raw rice like that. Or whenever we cook pulses, again we cannot get the raw pulses or any type of food. So hence cooking of food is also irreversible change. Then ripening of fruits, irreversible change. Formation of curd from milk, that is also irreversible change. Rusting of iron. So these all are irreversible changes. Okay. Now see on page number 11, about scientist Louis Pasteur is given. So you have to go through it and see what he did. So Louis Pasteur is a French chemist and biologist. He invented the process of pasteurization. This involved heating of a food substance at a specific temperature and a rapid cooling it at a low temperature. We have to heat it, then we have to cool it slowly, such that after that process we have to store that substance. So pasteurized milk we get, and pasteurized butter we get. So that particular thing was discovered by this scientist, and he used to develop vaccines such like anthrax and rabies. So please underline this last line. Pasteur also developed vaccines against anthrax and rabies. This will be helpful for your exams, this point. Okay. Now think and answer. See, when question is written here, all man-made changes are desirable, true or false? See, man-made things means the things which we made. So all the man-made things is desirable. It is true or false? So I think it will be false. Some of the man-made things are undesirable also, which causes harm for human beings. That is why this will be false. I hope this topic is clear to you. If yes, then turn the page. See page number 12. Check your progress. Answer these questions. Some questions are written. You have to just answer that. Tick the type of changes. You have to tick the changes. Drying of clothes. It is desirable change or undesirable change? See, when we wash our clothes, it get dry in the sun. So when it get dry, then only we can wear it. It means it is desirable change. Then rusting of iron. Iron get rust, and that creates harmful for us. Therefore, it is undesirable change. Erosion of soil. That is undesirable change. Formation of curd from milk. See, keep in your mind always, formation of curd from milk is desirable change. But whenever there is curdling of milk, that will be undesirable change. Now question number 2. Are the following changes reversible or irreversible? You have to identify the given examples, which one is reversible, which one is irreversible. So first one is ripening of fruits. Whenever a fruit gets ripe, again it cannot turn back to raw thing. Therefore it is irreversible change. Second, dissolving of sugar in water. Whenever sugar dissolves in water, again we can retain water and sugar back. So it is reversible change. Then blowing of electric bulb. It is also reversible change. Burning of a piece of a paper. This burning of piece of paper is a irreversible change, because whenever we burn a paper, there is a ash, we get ash as well as we get smoke. So again we cannot combine both and turn into page or a paper. That's why it is irreversible change. Okay, I hope these two topics is clear to you. So if yes, let us go through the next topic. Our next topic is the physical and chemical changes. First we will go through the definition and then we will see the characteristic of these two. Okay. So what is physical change? A change in which no new substance is formed. A change in which no new substance is formed. Change in which no new substance is formed is called as physical change. For example, blowing of bulb. Okay. Then magnetization of iron. Magnetization of iron. Then drying of clothes. Then sublimation. Now, in case of physical change, there is no new substance formed. Whenever change takes place and no new substance is formed, that is called as physical change. The original substance, means you can say the main substance which you take just before the change, the same remains after the change. For example, blowing of bulb. You are taking bulb, you are just on the switch, bulb glows. Again when you will off, bulb switch off. That is the thing, bulb remains same, only it get on and off. Magnetization of iron. See, we have to make this iron, or in this case iron shows the property of magnet. After a case, see, iron we just connect with the switch, or you can say we can connect with the cell. At that time when we take two irons at each other, just that iron behaves like a magnet, and when we just disconnect the circuit, in that condition iron remains as the iron only. So iron properties remains as iron. While connecting the circuit, it starts behaving like a magnet. Therefore, magnetization of iron is also physical change. Then drying of clothes. Whenever we wash and just put our clothes, washed clothes in the sun, what happens? It get dry. So only water evaporates. Otherwise, clothes remains clothes only. So drying of clothes is also physical change. Now, this is sublimation. This word may be new for you. Sublimation means directly changing of solid to gas. Changing of solid directly to gas is called as sublimation. For example, camphor. Camphor means kapoor. Okay, this camphor. See, whenever we burn camphor, the solid camphor, when we burn it, it directly changes into gas, the smoke. No liquid part is left there. Okay, and further, when we collect the smoke under a condition, it can again turn back in the camphor. Next is ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. This is also example of sublimation. Sublimation is a process, and the substance which sublime, this is called as sublime solid, iodine. Okay, so again we can change gas to solid, or we can change solid to gas. So both the processes called as sublimation, and many other examples are also there which come under the condition of physical change. Let us see. Any examples you can take, such as dissolution of sugar in water, dissolution of salt in water, okay, writing with a pencil on a paper. These all things are considered as a physical change. Now let us go through the chemical change. See here in your book it is given, a chemical change is a permanent change in which the original substance loses its own composition and properties. Okay, in case of chemical change, the original substance loses its own composition, and properties. In case of chemical change, whatever the substance you will take, that will lose its own composition as well as property, and there will be formation of a new substance. And formation of new substance is there. Formation of new substances will be there. Is it clear? So in case of chemical change, whenever chemical change takes place, it loses its own property as well as composition, and after a change there will be formation of a new substance. Such as, example is given here, see, cooking of a food. Whenever we cook a food, we give heat energy, and after getting heat energy or after attaining heat energy, the raw grains or vegetables, they get cooked, and the composition and property of raw, that just changes into new substance, which results in the formation of cooked food. Next is formation of curd from a milk. That already I told you, whenever we put small amount of curd to a milk, the property of milk exactly changes. Okay, the total property of milk changes to curd. Next is digestion of food. See, whatever the foods we eat, by the process from the mouth the digestion starts, and at the end all the food particles get digested. Again we can't get the food back. So their composition changes, property changes, as a result new substances formed. Then respiration. Respiration is the best example here in the case of chemical change. What happens there? See, oxygen is necessary for respiration. Whenever we respire, oxygen goes inside and that oxygen combined with the food. So what happened? After a result there is a formation of energy. There is a formation of energy. Then water, then carbon dioxide. Means only we are taking oxygen. That oxygen is combining with the food. And as a result what we are getting? We are getting water, carbon dioxide as well as energy. So this is also considered as chemical change. Then combination of iron and sulfur. Whenever iron and sulfur get combined, there is formation of iron sulfide. And this iron sulfide is a compound. Again this iron sulfide cannot turn back to iron as well as sulfur. It means two substances getting changed, or these two substances which is having its own property. For example, this iron, when I take a magnet, just rotate over iron, iron will be attracted, okay, as sulfur will be yellow in color. This is the property of iron as well as sulfur. But if they both combine, as a result the formation of iron sulfide takes place. You take a magnet, you just rotate over it, nothing will happen. As well as this yellow color sulfur will also turns black there. It means they loses their own composition and property, and as a result there is a formation of new substance with exactly new properties. Then next is rusting of iron, already we have discussed. And next is heating of sugar. See, whenever we heat sugar, it caramelizes and after a case it turns to black in color, that is charcoal. So again we cannot turn it back. So these all are the examples of chemical change. This is all about the physical change as well as chemical change. Few examples are there. You have to go through it. Now children, whatever the topics I taught you right now, I hope that is clear to you. Let us go through some more examples as well as some condition and one activity which will show whether physical change is reversible or not. Okay. So, see, it is given on your book, page number 12. All changes of states are physical change. Whenever there is change of state means whenever solid state changes to liquid state and liquid state changes to gas state. So these all changes are categorized as a physical change. See, when solid changes to liquid, this process is called as solid changes to liquid, process is called as melting. Process is called as melting. Now when liquid changes to gas, when we boil it, it means boiling. Again, when gas changes to liquid, it means we have to condense it, condensation, okay. And again, when liquid changes to solid, it means again we are freezing it. So, whenever there is change in state, that is physical change. Solid changes to liquid by process of melting, liquid changes to gas by process of boiling. Again, when we change gas to liquid by the process of condensation, and again liquid by freezing changes to solid. So these all processes called as physical change. And one more example of sublimation I told you, where solid directly changes to gas. This process is called as sublimation. Okay. Now if I take a simple example, ice. Ice is a solid. Now when I melt this ice, the process of melting turns to water. Okay. Again when I just boil this water, this water turns to water vapor. Again when I cool this water vapor, water vapor get condensed in the form of either we write as cooling or condensation. Water vapor turns to water. Again, when I just freeze this water, when I freeze this water by the process of freezing, it turns to ice. So, whenever you see there is a change of state, it will be physical change. Okay? You can draw this in your copy. It will be helpful for you to understand the change of state of matter is always a physical change. Now, as we have studied sublimation, here is one activity given on page number 13. Page number 13, one activity is given to show the sublimation of ammonium chloride is a physical change. So here, what are the things we require? We require a tripod, we require a Bunsen burner. This Bunsen burner will be having tripod stand. Here I will put wire gauze. On this wire gauze, I will take china dish. Okay. In this china dish, I will keep ammonium chloride. Then I will cover it with the help of inverted funnel. This is inverted funnel. And this part, the neck part of the funnel, I will cover it with a cotton plug. When this much process is completed, then I will on the burner. When burner is on, what happens? This ammonium chloride attains heat. Okay? After attaining heat, it starts to change into vapor. It will start to change into vapor. Now, as it is vapor, vapor will try to escape out. But here you just see, there is cotton plug. Vapor cannot escape out. Therefore, that vapor will start condensing at the wall of the, or here. They will start condensing here. After few time, you will see complete amount of ammonium chloride get over. When this part get over, we will just off the burner. In this condition, we will leave it undisturbed. Let the apparatus cool. When it will get cooled, we will take out. Okay? We will get the dish like this as well as the funnel like this. Okay? Then we will remove this funnel. We will keep it inward, and with the help of spatula, we will just scratch the wall of funnel, and as a result, in a china dish or a watch glass, we can collect the ammonium chloride back. Okay? So this ammonium chloride, by the process of sublimation, its solid states turn to gas. So when this ammonium chloride attains heat, it turns to ammonia plus HCl. Okay? And again when it gets cooled, again the same thing which we get here. Okay, this is what given on page number 30, activity number 1. So what the conclusion is being made? Ammonium chloride sublimes on heating. We can get back ammonium chloride from its vapor on cooling. So sublimation is a physical change. Okay. Now some examples of chemical change, or one example I am having which showing both chemical as well as physical change. Let us see what is the example. Now one example, burning of candle. One example is burning of candle. This burning of candle is both physical change as well as chemical change. It is both physical change as well as chemical change. Now you will say how it is both physical change as well as chemical change. See children, whenever we get a candle, see this is a candle, okay? Whenever we burn this candle, what happens? Melting of wax takes place. Okay? Now when this melting of wax takes place, it will be collected here. So whenever after the process of burning of candle, when melting of wax takes place, when we cool this, again it solidifies and turns to solid wax. Okay? Whenever we burn a candle, whenever we light a wick, candle is having cotton wick now. So whenever we light a wick, there will be melting of wax while attaining energy, heat energy. That wax melts down, comes down. Whenever we cool it, it turns to solid wax. Hence, this process is called as physical change. This process is called as physical change. And at the same time, why it is called as chemical change? Because the size of this candle becomes size will become less. First thing. Second thing, wick is also burning. So when wick is burning, it produces water vapor. It produces water vapor plus amount of carbon dioxide is also released. Now, as you see, whenever the burning of candle takes place, there is a release of water vapor and there is a release of carbon dioxide. Again, we cannot combine it back and turn the same candle up to of same size without using extra things. It means it is a chemical change. Okay? So, if anybody asks you burning of a candle is a physical change or chemical change, you will say it is both chemical change as well as physical change. Now, suppose they ask why, simply you can give example. It is when we burn a candle, if there is melting of wax, so wax will melt, we will cool it again, for solid wax we will get. So that's a physical change. And again at the same time, what will happen? The wick will be burning, wick produces water vapor as well as carbon dioxide. Therefore, it is called as chemical change. Okay? See, some more examples of chemical changes are given on page number 16. That is burning of coal, paper, matchstick, bursting of firecrackers, photosynthesis, boiling of an egg. These all are considered as chemical change. One more activity is given on page number 16 which shows that the burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. Let us see how. One activity we have seen with related to physical change. Second activity, page number 16. We will see related to chemical change. Okay? What you have to do? You have to take a magnesium ribbon. You just light this ribbon. When you will light this ribbon, what happens? This magnesium in presence of oxygen, when we heat it, it turns to magnesium oxide. Now you see, when two different substances get combining with each other, exactly new property will form. This magnesium oxide and there creates a dazzling flame. When this magnesium ribbon will get burned, there will be dazzling flame produced, the light energy as well as heat energy. And as a result, white color compound, this magnesium oxide will form. And this is a process of chemical change. Okay? So I hope these all things are clear to you. Again, go through the chapter starting from the introduction and desirable and undesirable change till here, the activity page number 16. The next topic I will just give you in next video. Till then, please study, please go through the chapter, and if any confusion you are having or any queries you are having, please write in a comment box. I will try to clarify your questions. Thank you.